I'm Aryan Malik. I'm a professor in the economics department here at GW, and I co-direct the program. So let me first tell you why you should seriously consider GW. We're located in the heart of Washington, D.C., just a few blocks from the White House. And in fact, one of the program alumni was on the staff of the Council of Economic Advisors at the White House. We're also right next to the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, the Federal Reserve, and we really are in the heart of DC when it comes not just to our physical location, but also in terms of career opportunities at consulting firms, NGOs, the private sector, multilateral organizations, and government agencies. GW is a large university, so there are dozens of graduate programs. We have a wide range of professional schools, and the reason this matters is that as a student in the applied economics program, you can take elective courses in other schools. And I'll have more to say about this a bit later. We are one of a select group of American universities that is a member of the American Association of Universities. And these are universities that are recognized for their research excellence. So now let me focus on the applied economics program per se. So it's an official STEM designated degree program, and this matters to international students because it implies that after you complete the degree, you're eligible to apply for up to 3 years of optional practical training. So this is 3 years, up to 3 years that can be spent working in the US to gain experience after you complete the program. Our professors are a mix of regular faculty in the economics department and also professors who are professional economists who work in the DC area. And this really is a distinctive feature of the program. And I'll explain why that matters a bit later as well. We offer dual enrollment in graduate certificate programs. So while you're in the MS program, you can also acquire a graduate certificate in a related field. A very popular one is data science, another is environmental resource policy, and there are yet other certificate programs. We offer free workshops in communications and coding. So the communications workshop actually is offered on the weekends, and it's a total of 16 hours. And this is designed for professional economists to improve their oral and written communication skills. The department offers funding for work as research assistants and graders for undergraduate courses. Most importantly, our job placement record is strong, and our alumni work in consulting and doing applied research in the private sector or at multilateral organizations like the IMF and the World Bank, as well as the Federal Reserve banks, and many at US and foreign government agencies. We have a really active and engaged alumni network. We just had a career event last Friday at which alumni came and offered advice to current students in the program. And we have a new program, an unusual one, where students in the program can apply to work on projects with World Bank economists through its data lab. So let me give you an outline of the talk. The picture that you see, actually, the economics department isn't quite visible in the background. It's the larger building on the right-hand side, but this is Kogan Plaza, and it's a popular student hangout. So let's start by talking about the program basics. So the MS degree requires 30 credits made up of 10 courses. So the typical course is 3 credits. And of these 10 courses, 6 are core courses and 4 elective courses. Most classes meet once a week for 2.5 hours in the evening, typically from 6:10 to 8:40 p.m. And we offer all 6 of the core courses each semester so that students can start the program in the fall or in the spring. Full-time students generally complete the program in 3 semesters plus 1 summer session. We offer courses over the summer as well. Domestic students can study full-time or part-time. International students have to study full-time. Many students work while studying for their degree. In the case of international students, they would be working on campus typically. Domestic students might have full-time jobs and just be studying part-time by taking 1 or 2 courses a semester. As I mentioned, we have these graduate certificate programs, and many students simultaneously obtain a graduate certificate in a related field. Here's a list of the core courses. And one thing I should emphasize is that these courses all have an applied emphasis. So you'll see that one of the core courses is probability and statistics for economics. So unlike a typical probability and statistics course that you might take as an undergraduate or even as a graduate student, this course has a lot of hands-on data work using the R programming language. And the final project for the course is one where students have to clean a large data set with millions of observations. So the intent is to get you experience that you can apply on the job in the real world, rather than just teach theory. So there's a heavy emphasis on practice and on application. This is a selection of the electives that are offered by the Applied Economics program per se. Machine learning with Python, this is a very popular one. Lots of students have signed up for it next semester. Transportation supply chain economics has also been a popular one recently. And as you can see, there are a variety of courses offered within the program itself. But students can also take courses outside the program. And here I have a sample list of courses from outside the program. As I mentioned, data science is popular. So if you acquired a certificate in data science, you can take these data science courses. There are also courses in geographic information systems. We have another certificate program in GIS. You might be interested in business and accounting. You can take courses in that. There's also a certificate program there. You might be more interested in policy and policy making. This is just a small sample. As I said, there are literally dozens of courses that are available to you at GW, given that this is a large university with a wide range of professional schools. Let me give you some admissions information. The picture you see is another shot of Kogan Plaza, and that's a colonial sitting on the bench. Lots of people who visit campus take pictures seated next to the bench. Yeah, that's a very common sight on campus. So something I should explain is that when you get emails from GW, you'll likely see Columbian College of Arts and Sciences. So this is one of the several schools at GW, and the Applied Economics program is housed in the Columbian College of Arts and Sciences. We usually use the acronym CCAS when referring to it. So here are the prerequisites for applying to the program. At least a B grade in macro and microeconomics. And the macro and micro that we're referring to here are the principles level courses you take as a freshman. So these are essentially first year macro and micro courses at the university level. We use calculus in our coursework, so you need to have at least a semester or 1 semester of college level calculus and a grade of B- or better in that course. A minimum 3.0 cumulative GPA from your undergraduate institution, and then a personal statement, or it's also called a statement of purpose, of 500 to 1,000 words. And some advice I'd offer on the personal statement is focus it on yourself. I sometimes see personal statements that devote more space to talking about GW. We want to know more about you, your experience, what your ambitions are, why you're interested in studying applied economics. So focus your personal statement on you, your experience, your background, and your aspirations. And then we also ask for 2 letters of recommendation. I know if it's been some years since you've been in school, getting letters from a former professor can be hard. Don't hesitate to get one from an employer. We don't require GRE scores, and you don't need to submit them. And if you don't submit them, we don't interpret that in a negative light. But if you've taken the GRE and you've done well, go ahead and submit them. It can't hurt. But again, I want to emphasize that not submitting the scores will not be viewed in a negative light and will not in any way harm your application. We do look at the full application, so you might be looking at the prerequisites that I just talked about and say, well, I got a B minus or I got a C plus in my macroeconomics course as a freshman. Well, that's fine. If we see that you took another economics course or two later on in your university career and got a B or better in them, we take that into account. So we really do look at the full application. If you don't meet the prerequisites, email the director to explain your situation. So what's not uncommon is students will say, well, I haven't had a calculus course. Well, something you could do is to take a calculus course online or some other low-cost option. If you're in the US, you could take a calculus course at a local community college. But it is essential to have taken a calculus course before you enroll in the program. Let me move on to deadlines. So as I said, students can start the program in the fall or the spring semester. To start in the fall semester, the deadline for applications is February 1st if you wish to be considered for financial assistance. If you're not concerned about financial assistance, perhaps your government or your employer is paying for your education, then April 1 is the general application deadline for fall admissions. To start in the spring semester, the deadline is October 1st. And this is true whether you're applying for financial assistance or not. Something I want to emphasize is that we are flexible with our admissions deadlines. We just admitted somebody for spring admissions within the past few weeks. And for fall admissions, I know students who've been admitted even over the summer. One of the issues when admitting students very close to the entry date is if you're international, having enough time to obtain a visa. So contact us. If you miss the deadline, contact us and we can let you know if it's still possible to be considered for admission. Now let me talk about financial support. I know this is important for most applicants. The picture you see is a bust of George Washington and cherry blossoms in the background. And applying for financial assistance is straightforward. On the applications, there's just a box that you need to check that asks whether you're interested in applying for financial assistance. One thing I do want to point out is that master's students aren't eligible for graduate fellowships or assistantships. And these are restricted to PhD students. So I will sometimes get emails from applicants saying, can I apply for an assistantship? And typically assistantships would cover tuition and even some of your living expenses. So we don't offer those sorts of fellowships or assistantships to master's students. I will describe the type of support, financial support we do offer. And your letter of admission will indicate whether you receive financial support and what form it takes. I will say that most students receive some financial assistance from us. But again, I want to say that what you receive won't cover full tuition or living expenses. So it's not going to be an award that covers all of the expenses that you'll incur to attend our program. And for more information on the various types of financial support, the best email address to use is askccas@gw.edu. And let me now talk about some of the specific awards that are available. So Columbian College has the so-called Global Leaders Award, and this is available to qualified students from select countries, and you see a list of the countries in front of you. And students from these countries receive an application fee waiver. and they're eligible to receive a renewable tuition award of up to $10,000 per academic year. Not all applicants will receive the award. To qualify, a citizen of one of these countries, and you need to be studying on an F1 visa. Another award is the Minority Serving Institution Award, and this is for students who obtain their undergraduate degrees from a minority serving institution in the US. Local universities in the Washington, D.C. area, such as Howard, Morgan State, and UDC, are eligible minority serving institutions. You can see a complete list of the institutions at the website that's on the slide. It's a very long list. And students from these institutions get a fee waiver, and they can apply for the MSI award, which is comparable in terms of dollar amount to the Global Leaders Award that I just talked about. There's also the potential to obtain a Dean's Award from Columbian College. These awards, unlike the previous two that I talked about, are non-renewable. It's a one-time sum of money, and they cover partial tuition. The other way to help pay for your program here is to work on campus. And campus jobs are advertised through the Student Employment Services. And our students work as statistical consultants in what's called the Academic Commons, tutors for undergraduate students, research or teaching assistants at various departments and schools. And you'll find these positions after you enroll in the MS program. The department itself provides financial support. Every semester, there are up to 20 students who work as research assistants for professors in the department or help professors with grading in undergraduate courses. And these are hourly positions. The hourly pay is $22 an hour, and each semester students work between 50 and 80 hours typically at these positions. Some students obtain unpaid internships, but they can apply for funding from the department. Again, the department can pitch in. It's typically in the range of $1,000 to $2,000 per semester for an unpaid internship. And our students have had internships at the IMF, the World Bank, the UN, and at local consulting firms. Again, I want to emphasize that the sums are not sufficient to cover all tuition and all expenses. And again, these awards are made after students have enrolled in the program. So now let me tell you a bit about our faculty and about our graduate student teaching assistants. So the graduate student teaching assistants are PhD students in the economics department who help with the coursework. This is another picture from campus. You can see the library in the background. It's the tall building through the gates. And here is a picture of instructors in the program at an informal gathering. And as I mentioned, the instructors teaching the program are drawn from within the Department of Economics, but they're also drawn from outside the department. And we draw from the large pool of practicing economists in the Washington, D.C. area. In all cases, these are individuals with distinguished academic credentials, and they work for a wide range of employers. And there's a long list of employers at the bottom of the slide. I won't read them. But something that I should emphasize is that students have told me that being taught by practicing economists who use economics in the real world has been a real boon. And the other benefit is that these economists are connected. So they can help identify job openings. They can help you position yourself to find a job after you finish up. This is a recent picture of our PhD teaching assistants. The person you see at the center is Joanne Weiner, who is the director of the program and is on sabbatical this year. And the teaching assistants run weekly discussion sections to help you work on problem sets and prepare for exams. They also hold individual office hours. We also have a dedicated TA who offers programming workshops to help you learn programming skills that are needed in our coursework. So as I mentioned, R is used. We also use Python and Stata. And Stata is a dedicated statistical package used by economists. Let me say a bit about additional initiatives. So I mentioned earlier this, you could simultaneously enroll in a graduate certificate program. So the benefit of simultaneously enrolling in a graduate certificate program is that you basically can get 2 degrees for the price of a little more than one. So certificate programs typically require 12 course credits. And what happens if you simultaneously enroll in our MS program and a grad certificate is that 12 course credits is 4 courses. Each course is 3 credits. 2 of those 4 courses can count both for the MS degree and also for the graduate certificate. So that means you essentially have to take 2 fewer courses than you would if you acquired these credentials separately. And that can save quite a bit of money. You're taking 2 courses less. There's no separate application for a certificate. You submit your request for dual enrollment after you enroll at GW. So it's not as if you won't be sure that you'll get into a graduate certificate program after you enroll in the program. Simply submit the application. We'll guide you through the courses to take and which courses to double count, both for the MS degree and for the graduate certificate. And as I mentioned, there's a variety of certificates. There's one in accountancy, business analytics, financial management, budget and public policy. There really is a wide range, and these are very popular among our students. We also have a new and unique collaboration with the World Bank, and it's Data Lab. And as I mentioned, this is a program through which students in our MS program can apply to work on projects with World Bank economists. We're just getting this started next semester. GW is the only school in the DC area that is a partner with the World Bank's Data Lab, and only one of a handful in the whole world. I talked earlier about this communications workshop, and I should also mention that this workshop is part of the requirements for the Certified Business Economist credential that's offered by the National Association for Business Economics. Last special initiative I want to talk about is the partnership we have with MIT and their MicroMasters program in data economics and design of policy. So this is an MIT program at low cost. And if you complete this MIT program and take 2 eligible electives in that MIT program, those 2 electives would count towards your master's degree here. So that means 2 fewer courses you need to take in our master's degree here at GW. Let's turn to careers, and ultimately this is what's most important. This is a picture of Joanne Weiner and some recent graduates, and we offer a variety of resources to help you prepare for the real world, but also to help you find a job. And we have multiple career workshops that are held either by human resource professionals or practicing economists, as well as our alumni. We just had one last Friday. We had alumni present. We had representatives for the National Association of Business Economics. We had a friend of the program who has his own consulting firm in the DC area offering advice to current students. GW has a career services offer, and they provide professional help with writing your resume and cover letter. They'll conduct mock interviews to improve your interviewing skills. and also show you how to go about building a professional network. Here at GW, we use the Handshake platform for job listings, and you'll become familiar with this early on. There's a workshop to show you how to use the Handshake platform. The MS program itself has a LinkedIn network that helps you connect with program alumni to get their advice and to identify job openings. And the alumni really are very active and very engaged. We have informal get-togethers with the alumni, and they also come in and participate in our career workshops. So where do our alumni go after they finish up? It really is an impressive array of careers. Some work in consulting, some work as economists at private firms, others do policy analysis at think tanks, yet others work at government and non-government organizations. So if you look at a list of employers of alumni in our program, they include the International Monetary Fund, as I said, that's right next door to GW, the World Bank, also right next door to GW, the Federal Reserve, the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve is a few blocks away. Consulting firms like Compass Lexicon, Econ One, CBR, Coherent Economics, Edgeworth Economics, Bates White, think tanks like the Brookings Institution. There's a long list here, and I won't read through all of them, but we really have alumni spread all across. Some alumni go on to pursue a PhD. So one of the PhD students in our department is an alumni of the Applied Economics MS program. We had a lunch for students graduating this semester, again last Friday, and one of them plans to head off to law school. So people really do take a variety of paths after they finish up. Some students stay in Washington. International students often return to their home countries. Others head off someplace else in the world. Here's a picture of students, certainly not all of them, a small subset at an informal get-together we had last year. And let me tell you a bit about our students. So we enroll about 30 to 40 students in the program each year. Many students have work experience, but others enter the program immediately after completing their undergraduate degree. Most students have studied economics or business as undergraduates, but many have studied something else. And some have studied politics, engineering, or journalism. You might wonder, what's gained by enrolling in our program if you already have a degree in economics? Well, at this lunch for alumni, for graduating students, so students graduating this semester last Friday, I was talking to a student who's finishing up in our program, who had obtained her bachelor's degree in economics from a very highly regarded university in the US. I'm not going to name names. And I asked her, what did you gain from this program? So she said, I really didn't know economics until I came to this program. And as I said, this is somebody with an undergraduate economics degree from a very highly regarded university in the US. And the students, talking to them over lunch, again emphasized the fact that our coursework is hands-on, it's applied, and that being taught by practicing economists made a large difference. In terms of where our students come from, they literally come from across the globe. And you see a list of countries there. We really have an